Ibr92.5FM. You're right to know.
Good evening. Here is news at 6 on Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5 FM, Ibadan. First, the headlines. Senate rejects bill seeking the amendment of the Electoral Act. Christian Association of Nigeria says people are tired of reporting cases of kidnapping as government kills daughter of late Iyalode of Ibadan land. APC releases zoning arrangement for National Convention as Akeredolu urges party to sustain internal democracy. On the foreign scene, Russia says negotiations with Ukraine are making headway. Now the news in details. I am Han Uluwapo Omoride. The Senate has rejected a bill by President Muhammadu Buhari seeking the amendment of Section 84 of the Electoral Act. The section prevents political office holders from contesting for election from party primary level without resigning. The bill had yesterday scaled the first reading despite a court order barring the Senate from acting on it. The request was however rejected today after Senator Yahya Abdullahi made the lead debate for the second reading of the bill. Still basking in the euphoria of the International Women's Day, women groups across the country have again stormed the premises of the National Assembly to express displeasure over how lawmakers voted against gender bills during the Constitution Amendment process. In a statement, the group said they will vote for only women in the 2023 general election, no matter how small the political party they are in. The protesters further alleged that the male lawmakers do not have their interest at heart. They also vowed to mobilize women in all the 774 local government areas across the country to make sure their plans come to fruition.
Today, the women parliamentarians are less than number. Same thing with the Senate. So the question is, who is afraid of the Nigerian woman? As you have heard, we women will sing and dance, we will support, we will stay in the sun and rain, but when it comes to the real thing, we are neglected. Yes, we are women. There's nothing wrong in singing and dancing, but we sing to our own songs and dance to our own tunes. That's what they want us to do. So today we should all stay united and mobilized as women. It doesn't matter what political party you belong to.
As the men's parliament and the process being led by the women. Well, the parliament, of course, like you said, is the men's parliament, and they have shown us that they have absolutely no regards for women. They do not respect women. The women of Nigeria are not seen as citizens. They do not care. And it is time for us as women also to begin to go at them where it will hurt them the most, and that's at the polls. Where we are out here, we're protesting, but it's symbolic, right? But we need to go beyond that. We need to ensure that we are putting women into office.
Is that you neglect us, you will lose election. From how shall it be? Because we, the women, are not just the ones who carry you for 9 months, nurture you, bring you into this world, strengthen you and bring you up and educate you and support you to become human beings. We now support you through your electoral processes. Yes. Stand for you. It is the women who campaign the most for the men. Yes.
Still on legislative activities, the Speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, Ishau Azizat, says the core mandate of the newly inaugurated Parliament will be centered on youth development, inclusion, and gender equality. In a statement, Azizat said Nigerian youths are building global solutions for the development of the country and should not only be tagged for bad news. Azizat, who said the youth represent over 50% of the entire population, added that they are ready to participate in governance. She also called on ASU and the federal government to embark on peace and dialogue so as to end the protracted national strike.
This meeting with you, most distinguished custodians of the first estate of the realm, is a chance for us to know each other and a call for the media to join us in championing issues of youth empowerment and capacity building. If we must compete effectively in the 21st century, where competition is global and economic transformation are happening at a rapid pace, then we must be allies. I thank my colleagues for the confidence reposed in me and I promise to run an open door policy to take their input in making decisions for the growth of the parliament. I was elected on the youth mission agenda, which prioritized the youth inclusion and representation. On our agenda is centered 6 thematic areas, including youth development, youth inclusion, and gender equality.
In the meantime, students have called on warring parties to reach an agreement in order to put a stop to the incessant strikes by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. They made the call today following the union's declaration that the ongoing nationwide strike will continue until the renegotiated agreement. Ibr92.5FM has details.
The ongoing nationwide strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities has no doubt expressly affected the country's university system. This is just as the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities has said the ongoing 3-week-old nationwide strike will continue until the renegotiated agreement is implemented, even as the federal government said it does not have money to meet the demands of the striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Reacting, the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Ibadan chapter, Professor Ayola Akinwale, persists that distrust, lack of communication, among others, are the bane of industrial strikes.
The current strike is the very last resort that we are forced to take because of government insensitivity to all our attempts at resolving the issue amicably. Remember, we suspended a strike action conditionally on the 23rd of December 2020. That's over 15 months ago. And that suspension was predicated upon a signed MOA with timelines on all the issues that we are tracking with government. Unfortunately, all those timelines have passed. They were lapsed way back June last year. But even at that, the unions still explore all possible means. We met with virtually those that matters in Nigeria. We met with the House of Representatives, met with the Senate, met with opinion leaders, met with government functionaries in a bid to resolving the issue amicably. But what do we have as response from government? Nonchalant attitude and unseriousness. So we were forced as the very last resort to take this strike action.
He also noted that the way out is for government to implement the renegotiated agreement.
He who is down fears no fall. Our people are already dejected. They are already disenchanted with the system. When we have a government that doesn't care about the welfare of its workers, the difference between somebody that is presently working and those that are actually not working. In fact, you discover that Nigerians will tell you those that don't have paid employment seem to have better because people will pity them.
Similarly, the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Ilorin chapter, Professor Moyosore Ajao, said strikes have always been the last resort, stressing that industrial actions are due to the non-implementation of the agreement by the federal government.
If the government wants this strike to end today, honestly, they know what to do. Because how do you will explain a 4-year renegotiation that ends in May 2021, and by March 7, when you have not implemented any part of it, you are already setting up another panel to renegotiate a renegotiated agreement. It just shows that Nigerians were not a serious nation, and our government is just interested in engaging ASU in talking.
On their part, some students decried the negative effects of incessant strikes on the students and the education sector. They however called for a concerted effort in putting an end to incessant strikes in the country's tertiary institutions.
Strike delays the students. When they want to graduate, they won't finish on time. Also, they tend to lose hope in the education system of the country. Then I also believe that even on the lecturers themselves, they won't be happy sitting at home, doing nothing for years. And then the government have the role to play in ensuring that they find a lasting solution to this strike.
Strike will always affect us, like delay things a lot. But I'm supposed to be in 400 level and I'm still in 300 level now, like just 1 year has gone.
It has therefore become pertinent for all parties to resolve their disputes to foster peace and restore the education sector to its past glory. Ibr92.5FM, Impact Business Radio News.
In a related development, the Southwest chapter of the National Association of Academic Technologists has called on the federal government to urgently reposition the nation's technological education for the advancement of the country. Speaking at a media briefing in Abeokuta, the coordinator of the union, Oluremi Joseph, vowed that its members will embark on indefinite strike if necessary actions are not taken. He also decried the non-availability of adequate, modern and functional laboratory equipment, as well as the non-payment of arrears of minimum wage. Joseph further berated the deplorable conditions of laboratories and workshops across the federal universities in the country and the poor funding of state universities.
For now, Abeokuta, gentlemen of the press.
Good morning, sir. I did, sir. How many professional technologies are you ready to negotiate with the federal government?
We are still using laboratories built during Pawolowo era with capacity of 30 to 40 students to conduct practical sessions for over 300 students in a laboratory at a go. The current trends of converting laboratory workshops and studios into classrooms in most public universities is also condemned by members of NAT. This is a red light alert to university technological education and indigenous technological advancement of the country. It is indeed a dangerous drift to oblivion that must be prevented.
Moving on to security matters, suspected gunmen have assassinated Mrs. Fatima, the only surviving daughter of the late Iyalode of Ibadan land, Alaja Aminat Abiodun. According to reports, Fatima was killed